Hi, welcome to Jim's Radio Shop. I'm working on this Philco 91X 1932 AM radio with 9 tubes in it. And I'm trying to solve the reason why B plus is absent in quite a few tubes. And I become, this is the schematic for the radio, and this is one of the tubes that has no B plus. And it gets its plate voltage through this audio transformer. And I'm pretty sure there's voltage here, and I'd earlier tested no voltage here, so I was quite suspicious this was open. In the last video I found voltage here and here, same voltage on either side of the coil. I think the only reasonable explanation is that the coil is good. So now I'm back to wondering, well, why did I read 0 here before, and now I've cast doubt on all my previous readings. So I'm going to repeat a few. What do they say? Measure twice, cut once? I guess it's true in this kind of work too. Oh, so first I have to turn on the power. Now I'm going to just take a moment and show you my how I limit the power to these radios. Now I know this isn't the most high-tech approach, but it's what I do. So if I had a variac, I would use it. I don't have one, and I rigged this up instead. Now this is the old classic light bulbs in serial with the load. Now you see I got 2 light bulbs. The back one, where my hand is now, is a 40 watt, and the front one is 100 watt. And so it's a little like a tri-light situation. I have 3 different settings on here. I can limit it with the 40, limit it with the 100, or put both in and really not have much limit at all. Now I have 2 voltmeters operating with this. There's this one here, which is right on the control panel. This is the control panel for the power switch. And I have another one over here. If you've been watching any of my videos, you've seen this from time to time. And I think the cool thing is, this is the output where it goes to this extension cord, which I find very handy, rather than having plugging it in an outlet, because in some cases you don't even have to uncoil a power cord. You can just bring this over and plug it in. There's no reason to uncoil it. And then this older plug is the radio, and this one on the back goes straight to the line volt meter. So I know the voltage right at the end of the extension cord. Not that it would be much different all the way back to the generator, but that's the case. So now this voltmeter doesn't actually read, it's not calibrated to read volts. It reads percent of the supply. So the supply is normally in my house about 120 volts. So if it comes up to the number 1, there's 120 volts there. And if it stops at the 8, I know there's 80% of 120 volts. And when you have these bulbs in series with the load, small variations in the load will cause variations in the position of this meter. So I can't tell you the exact current. I've never attempted to determine that, but I can certainly see changes in the current. And so for instance, when you first start up the radio, there's a quick draw on the heaters, and then once things warm up a bit, you start to get a plate current. And as soon as the plate current begins to draw, the increased load causes a drop in the supply voltage. So you can watch this. You can kind of see these things happening. I'm sure it's not nearly as good as having a variac, but I got a little more going here than just a single light bulb. So anyway, let's switch it on. So I have a master switch, and then I have this switch, a 2-position switch. Down means it engages the bulbs. Up means it's straight through, full blast. So first, power on. The little light comes on here. That's supposed to keep me ever mindful that the switch is up, but I really need a much brighter light for that to work. And I'll just put this down. You can watch this meter, because the radio's switched on. It's ready to go. Wait 1 sec while I just do a little safety peek. Yeah, everything's the same as I left it anyway. So we'll put this on and just watch how this meter goes. And you can see the light in the background too. So it's running at about half voltage right now. Now, you know, I fiddled with those light bulbs before I did this when I was just kind of explaining this gizmo out, and normally on this radio I have the 100 in also, because that's really low. So I'll screw in the 100. Okay, now you can see the faint glow in both bulbs, but more importantly you can see this is getting up around 80%. Now the interesting thing is the line voltage meter, bottom of the scale is 100, it's not even on scale yet. It's probably just a little under 100 at this point. Okay, and the tubes, don't know if you can pick that up on camera. The tube heaters have come on, but there's no sound. It's just not enough voltage to generate sound. So from here we'll just flip it up full. And now you see this pointer's up 100% and our actual voltage is 117. And there you can hear some sound coming from the radio. So we're ready to make our voltage measurements. I know it's a little bit of a repetitious thing, but replicate all the readings I've been doing here, just around these number 37 tubes. So first, voltmeter set to 1000 volts max, and I'm going to touch the B plus. There it is, 350. So I know the meter's working, connections are okay for continuing the readings now. Here's that transformer that I thought might have an open coil, and one side goes here, 123 volts, and the other side, I was fooled for a bit last time on this, goes here, 147. That's adjusting a voltage drop across that coil. Let's take a look at that. So we'll read right across the coil here. .24 volts DC dropping on that coil. Now that strikes me as a pretty high voltage. Well, it's a 2000 ohm coil, so that's I guess that's not too surprising. Oops. But what that means, let me bring back the schematic. What that means is I'm reading the voltage here, but apparently I can't read it here. I must not have recorded something properly. Yeah. What is going on? So let's look at the tube itself. That would be this tube here. Now this connection should be the plate. Well, it certainly looks like nothing to me, right? So what's happening between this point and this point? If you take a real good look at it, unfortunately the coil is connected to this point here, and man, so is everything else in the radio. What is all that? Oh boy. Lots of, it's very hard to see in this radio. Lots of components. Anyway, let me just rotate it a bit here. Save my neck a bit. Okay, so we verified that this particular 37 has no plate voltage. I think we're going to be able to verify all the rest of them are also without plate voltage. Now, one of them was tucked way in behind this guy here. So first I'm trying to identify the two heaters by actually seeing the heater wires coming to the prongs, and I'm not having much success at doing that. Okay. Yeah, okay. This would be the grid, and that's why we hear that. They wouldn't expect any voltage there. This is the plate. And it's showing 30 volts. That's a little different. Volts. Now there's three 37 tubes in here just to add to the confusion, and I'm not fully clear on which one is which one in the circuit. There is no numbering system or diagram to help me with that, so I have to look at the circuitry and sort out which is which. And so I think it goes 37, 37, 37. Oh my gosh. The speaker is a plug. How do you like that? I looked at that speaker cord. I looked at the fact that these speakers were provided to me still connected to the radio, and I thought there's no plug on this. It's a wire going right into the radio, soldered in. But now, no. There's a plug there. It's good to know when I go to transport this radio, I can separate the speakers. Not that I can damage them any further than they already are. They're wrecked. Wrecked as they are. Okay, so I'm going to lay off that right now while the video is running, and just do a double check on plate voltage on the other two 37s. Just to I don't know if you can see the meter. I couldn't. Okay, here we go. We're going in. That's a 0. That's a grid. Oh wow. That's the plate. 0. Well, I don't know. How can a tube with no plate voltage make a sound when I touch the grid? going to take these measurements just in a little bit of a different method. I'm going to try to spot the center tap wire on the main transformer, on the power supply transformer. Must be one of these guys here. I mean, this guy. No, that's the there's 2 plates on the 80. That's not them, of course. I think that's it there. So we're going to move our meter ground to this point. And we'll check the B plus voltage. Or 11, get a little higher reading than using the chassis ground. So maybe the chassis ground was giving me some bad readings. Let's go back here. Same result there. Same result there. 0. Somebody help me on this. Okay, and this other 37. Plate, getting the same reading. 30 volts. Plate, grid, cathode. And the last one to verify there's no voltage. This is the most unfortunate one, is the 44. 44 up here. That's the plate. That's the grid. Ooh, 83 volts on the grid. Oh yeah, this is a grid cap 2, isn't it? Yeah, so that's grid number 2. It's running at 80, so it's got its voltage, or it's got something. The plate is showing nothing. Okay, let's see what we can figure out about that one in a matter of a minute here. That tube's plate gets its supply through this coil, I'm pretty sure. See, I can see the wire disappearing back there underneath this block. Oh, I think it's coming out to here. Something funny there. No, that's not where the wire goes. I think it goes. Yeah, I can see where it connects to the coil. Let's see if I can. Right in behind there. And there's nothing on it. Now, I believe this has got to be a high voltage wire here. Oh. The meter went to sleep. So this is a high voltage wire. There it is there. So this would be a high voltage wire. is there. And it's not showing up on the other side of that coil. Over here. It's not showing up anywhere else. Okay, so if we're lucky, it's a cold solder joint right there. I'm not feeling too lucky today, so I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I can get that coil out fairly easily if I just take this capacitor out, desolder the wires, unhook that. So you know what? I can get at that coil. First time I look at this, I was kind of disappointed at the situation, but I think I can pull that off. Okay, so I'm going to pull that. I'm going to pull that coil out of there, and trace some of the wires down in this area a little bit better. See if I can't sort out how the winding in this transformer manages to make it to the plate of one of the 37s. And I'll come back on video once I've got that going pretty good. Thanks.